This video I'll show you how to generate that drawing for the Grate. It's drawing 1-1. So I'll start a new drawing, turn off the grid, turn my ortho on. Let's just go ahead and start drawing. So I know it is 6 inches across, 7 inches tall, 6, and back to the beginning. So that's going to be my 6x7 box. Let's put a dimension on there just to see what it looks like. One thing you'll notice, we've talked about this before, is the default when you start a new drawing is 4 decimal places. This drawing is only supposed to be at 1 decimal. So let's go ahead and fix that. Go up to Annotation, Dimension Style, Modify, Primary Units, and we'll set the precision to 1 decimal. OK, and close. And let's see, let's just get rid of that. We'll update it. I just wanted to see what it looked like to start with. Okay, so we need to create these other rectangles. As I showed you before, without a doubt, the easiest way to do that is by using the Offset tool. Click on Offset. Command line says specify the offset distance. If you look at the drawing, it's everything is pretty much 1 inch space. So I'm going to type in 1, enter. Now it says select the object, the offset. I'm going to click on the bottom, and now it says specify point on the side. Remember, with the horizontal line, you can go up or down. I'm going to go up because I've got a bunch of these to do. I can just keep clicking the line and moving it up. Click the line, move the cursor up, and keep doing that until I get them all. And now this is unusual in this drawing, and that everything is 1 inch, but I can also do the same on the sides. Take that line, offset it to the right, that line, offset it to the left. I'm going to hit escape to finish that command. Now again, that's pretty unusual that everything is 1 inch, but it's a good demonstration of the power of that offset tool. So now what I want to do is eliminate the stuff that I don't want here. Remember, you can't use erase. If you erase, it makes the whole thing go away. I'll use my trim tool. Now you have to kind of read between the lines here. What you have to do is select the cutting edges, and as I showed you before, the easiest way to do that is just draw a window. Click on the upper left, click in the lower right, everything is highlighted. You have to hit enter to move to the next part of the command, and now we can select the lines that we want to trim. So remember, trim just reduces the length of a line up to the next line, that being your cutting edges. Now if you mess up, you just have to undo and go back and redo it. So there's my shape. So quick and easy. I want to dimension that, and I'll just basically use the way that it's dimensioned on the handout there. Make sure your ortho is turned on. Make sure your object snap is turned on. And you can just keep clicking corners, placing dimensions. Remember, it's easy to go back and move them if you decide to move a dimension. Now the software doesn't think there's enough room for that. You can go ahead and place that dimension. Let's hit escape now. And if you click on it, click on that grip, you can move the number. If there's enough room, you can kind of force it to go in there. So that just looks a lot better in my opinion. Back to the dimension tool. Now notice I'm clicking on each of these corners. If I want to line that up, come over here and use that object snap to click on the end of that. If you can line a dimension up, you should try to do it. It makes a much neater, much easier to read drawing than if they're just randomly placed around the sheet. Let's see here. 3. Remember, don't crowd your part, but also at the same time, don't have to get crazy and put it super far away. And notice what I'm doing is shortest dimension, and then the next longest dimension, and the next longest, and so forth. Simple, easy, straightforward way to dimension. Also, way to interpret it. Now notice at each of these corners there's a gap before, that's called the extension line, before the extension line. That helps you to visualize what the shape looks like, and even on these internal corners. Now if you're not careful, I'll show you what happens sometimes. People click on this corner and come over here And now notice you don't have a gap. It's very confusing. Imagine a very complicated part. See how you can see that corner? You can't see that corner. So you're going to want to redo that. Just delete it and do it over. Go to the closest corners. You need to have those gaps between the corners so you can see the shape of the part. So there's my drawing. It's exact size and shape. It's nicely dimensioned. I'm going to want to put my name on there. So go to text. Remember, lower right hand corners where your name is going to go. So let's see, I'll make everything capital, Mike. And the course number, and then the drawing name, number, and then just close the text editor. And there's my drawing. Now I want to put on a drawing paper, so go over here to layout. Remember, white background is going to be your paper now. I haven't adjusted this yet. I showed you how to do that. I want to adjust this border. It just doesn't look right. You don't need this wasted paper here. It also takes up a lot of valuable space for you to make your drawing nice and big and centered. So in order to do that, remember, bring your cursor somewhere out here in the perimeter and then double click the left button and then click on that box and pull it up. Pull it out. Remember, don't touch the hidden line. Give yourself some space between the hidden line or it's not going to print the border. We want to see that border. Hit escape. You want to see that border. That's what it should look like. Then you can bring your cursor inside of here somewhere and double click it. And now you can arrange your drawing the way you want it to look. You can zoom it in and out. Try to get it nice and big and try to get it centered. Now don't make it so big you can't read the dimensions, but the same thing. Don't give someone a drawing that looks like that. Okay, and then we'll save it. So first of all, I would save the drawing file. So again, I'm putting mine in a folder. Go to desktop. I find my folder. And don't let the default decide on the name, right? Remember what we're going to do is put our last names. Oops, my cap lock is on. Space, and that's Grate 1-1. Now it's going to go ahead and put the DWG extension on. You don't have to do that. Save that, and then we're going to do an export as a PDF because I'm not going to, you can't send me drawing files. You need to send me PDF. So export as a PDF. It'll go back in that folder. It'll put the PDF extension on there and just say save. And now that's what you'll send me for the assignment.